has come. Let earth receive its king. The kingdom of God was ushered into the earth when God became flesh, and as the prophecy said, Emmanuel, God is with us. And I take comfort in the fact that God is with me through every circumstance, through every situation. I look forward with hope and strength that indeed whatever has happened in 2021, as we bring 2021 to a close, that going forward into 2022, more than anything else, we will overcome. We will be strong and do mighty exploits as the people present in the kingdom of God. And so I rejoice. I rejoice. I'm giving thanks. Some things have not happened the way that you wanted to happen, but you know that God has been with you. You are in process. He's making you strong. You're overcoming in the situation, as Romans 8:28 says. And nothing, my dear sister, this is for you, can separate you from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus. And God makes you strong in the situation as an overcomer. And I share that with all of Jamaica. Whatever is coming at us in 2022, we'll overcome, we'll be strong because God is with us and He has not forsaken us.
So, thank you. I received that word, sir.
Yes.
You gave me another pronouncement, declaration a
Yes.
few weeks ago.
Yes.
You said December 31 shall not pass without certain things breaking.
Yeah, and I'm still
I said, well, if it passes and the things don't break, I'm not speaking to you again.
That's all right. You'll speak to me. You will
I look
continue
forward
to
it.
speak to
I so
me.
desperately want to be wrong.
Yeah, but I'm still. We
Yeah.
have today's the 28th. We have 3 more days left.
Yeah. Anyway, I said, I still gonna speak to Pastor. That's not.
You're gonna speak to me because
I
the
still
joy of the
going to
Lord
speak
is
to
your
him
strength, my
because
sister.
not only that, I am generous and giving.
Aye,
So
we just come out of that season, and let us not.
no, we're not out of the season. That is the subject of discussion this morning.
But you never let me finish.
Yeah, well, all right, go
So
on.
the season of Christmas time speaks to us receiving the greatest gift, speaks to generosity of God. But we must continue that year in, year out, day in, day out. Because if we are generous and we sow generosity, it will come back to us in ways that we cannot comprehend, ways that will overwhelm us with the goodness of God towards us.
How about when it does not come back to you?
We still are generous.
Right. So,
still are generous, according to 2 Corinthians.
So last week, as we were, we began to do the preparation to cross over into the new year.
Yes.
And I spoke about the gate, the powerful gate that is represented by the first hour of the first minute of the new year. I mean, massively important in the spiritual sense. And I spoke about the attitude of repentance and the need for repentance. We went through some of the elements of it. And we had got to the part where we went through all of the critical elements really. Yes, we got to celebration, which meant we had gone past restitution and forgiveness.
Yes, that's so true.
This morning and for all of this week, this is our week of loving and giving. We're taking a step ahead of the February love.
No.
we're into January love.
We need to live in that, sister.
One of the things that's very important about this attitude of loving and giving is that January is notoriously one of the leanest months of the year because mostly we all leave it we leave everything on the field in December.
Yeah, leave it. Yeah, it's all out on the court. All out.
Absolutely. Yeah. We don't hold back. Even the last little seed that we plan to keep for something else, we tend to go into it as we get into the frenzy of the Christmas celebrations. So January is notoriously lean. Here's something I learned a long time ago, and I am sharing it. When you find yourself with the least, nothing, that is when you give.
You know, the woman with the widow's mite.
The widow's mite. And also, interestingly, that little bit of oil and flour that
lady, the widow of Zarephath.
Absolutely. When the prophet said to her,
"Give it to
bake me a cake.
Give it to me." And she looked upon him and said, "He must be mad." her intention was that this is a cake and the oil. I am going to bake it and just go dead.
The boy and I.
Yeah.
She and her son were gonna have their last meal
Mm.
and just wait out death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's when the prophet said to her, "No, bake, give me first." And a week or two ago on the program here, I remember having an exchange with one of the callers who said that she too understood when we were talking about begging, and we spoke about not moving from a position of lack, no matter how it appears. And the words that I got in that similar situation was keep pouring. So when you have the little bit left or the nothing left, you keep pouring, you keep giving, you keep sharing. That's the challenge for January, to change January from being the leanest, grumpiest, gripiest month of the year into the most fun, most loving, most giving season, because everybody only have one seed left and you're gonna find the need to share it. The producer looks horrified.
The generosity.
One seed is plenty. It can still produce.
It's interesting, the one seed demands that we give it. That
it can become many.
That's where I'm going. The one seed demands that we give it, we sow it, and it then becomes a tree that everybody
absolutely
can live off.
All
and
right.
so that's so very important.
All right, let's take the break, contemplate that on our own, and then come back, because the engineer gave me the break sign, and I'm loving and giving this morning. So first break of the day. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bass FM. Keep listening.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to ADPEM.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
Best 100 FM.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
Vijam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vijam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. Welcome also to Sitting Here Watching from Florida. Thank you for joining us. And I do hope, I don't know how I'm going to involve the online listeners in the spirit of generosity that is sweeping through the show for this week. We have a number of giveaways. We have some gift packages courtesy of Hilo Supermarket. And one of the presenters on another show, Live It Up Friday, was instrumental in organizing that. And I thank Ketis for her good work in that regard. Through her efforts, all of the station shows will have packages to give away during the course of this week. We got 150 packages from Hilo.
Wow.
Which I think is just wonderful. That is the spirit that I'm talking about. And then, of course, I also received from Ligani Club, our sponsor for Thursdays, a 1 month membership, which I'm trying to figure out how best to do it. If I should ask like one question per day and do the giveaway on Thursday.
Probably we should do that. Start this morning.
Starting this morning.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so there's not much left.
Right. And I just wanted to do 3 questions, really.
Okay.
So I can ask one per day at, like, say, 9 o'clock or thereabouts.
Yeah, and somebody can call in and answer. So what?
Yeah.
You have to answer all 3 questions correctly in order to get it, or
Absolutely.
total 3, or
closest, because we're giving it away. We're not keeping it. So whoever comes the closest. They need to answer on air, yes? So that becomes our audit process. And then on Thursday morning,
they had some wonderful specials over the holidays in terms of the brunch.
right up to New Year's Eve.
Yeah. New Year's Eve is Friday or Saturday. I got confused. New Year's Eve is Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, because New Year's Day is the first. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
you have so many parties lined up. Your calendar is full. No. Anyway, all right. While you contemplate your calendar. So the question that I am posing for our listeners this morning is, can January become the new December? Meaning, can we carry that spirit of love and sharing and appreciation, gratitude into
that's
January?
not the question, people. That's a general question we're posing, the challenge we're challenging all Jamaicans. January is normally tamarind season. You know that expression?
I know it now.
Oh, you didn't know? Tamarind season, nothing happens. Everything dry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tamarind season.
The tamarind trees I know are generous with their fruit.
Tamarind season.
Okay, you'll explain.
Oh, that's what it is. Nothing not going on.
No. Sometimes these things are counterintuitive.
Meaning
tamarind season is either mean or only tamarind. The only fruit is tamarind during that season. So it's lean for other fruits.
It's lean. So what we're saying, we want to turn January. We're starting a new way of thinking. Remembering, I always say on this program that the God that we serve is the God of the increase, not the God of scarcity.
Absolutely.
And if the God of the universe is a God of increase, it means that if we want to represent that God, then we need to become like him. And that mentality, which means that there's more than enough for everybody, so there's no need to be being scarce or being scomogen, being like Dr. Scrooge. Scomogen. But there's enough for everybody. So if there's enough for everybody, then we need to prepare the table so that everybody can come and eat and be full. There's a mentality which says in our culture, no man, we're going to stop that person from getting it because there's not enough to go around.
Yeah.
But I'm just countering that by saying that the God I know, the God I serve, is a God of more than enough, the God of plenty, the God of increase. And so to change our mentality in terms of becoming an increased mentality, not one of scarcity.
All right, I
so
see you love it. You've caught it.
Yeah. So
I could stop speaking right now. And
being generous,
being generous.
You think that there's just enough for you? No. There's enough for me and you,
that is the time.
And we can share it. It goes even deeper in terms of, to my mind, what happens in terms of this conversation that we're having about the covenant. A new covenant that Jamaica needs to have, a covenant of love, honor, and respect. The God we serve would be the God of this covenant who has created us and released us into Jamaica, this space. Because in his mind, he has set the times and the spacing for every nation. And if we understand that, in Jamaica, there is more than enough to go around. There is no reason that a small percentage of our population controls the majority of the resources, and the majority of the people are suffering. There's not enough.
All right, I feel like I lit a fuse in Pastor's heart. Did I light a fuse?
That's always been there.
Lord, look like I fanned it into
Yeah,
flame.
you find it into fame. In terms of
All
thinking,
right.
there's more than
No,
enough.
it is. I'm
There's
glad,
more than enough.
I'm glad
There's
you've caught it, because there is more than enough of that sentiment to take us through the week. That is the focus of this week. And fun fact, you know the word that we call curmudgeon?
Mm-hmm.
Curmudgeon.
Okay, that's the root of it.
Well, I wouldn't say root. It's that is what we have done is a bastardization of
It was curmudgeon. It is. Is that right?
curmudgeon. You're a curmudgeon.
Okay.
You know those cranky, mean.
Okay.
Curmudgeon.
Mm-hmm.
Curmudgeon.
Yeah.
Fun fact: on the weekend, a couple of days ago, I heard what happened, and I think is Lowell used the word "hataclaps."
Yes, attaclaps are come.
Apocalypse.
Yes, that's what it means.
Apocalypse.
That's a Jamaican version
of apocalypse.
Yes.
The hataclaps. All right, so you know, I get distracted by words. Words are like little bright lights that draw my attention.
Light you up. Distract you.
Yeah, and distract me. Okay, so this is our focus right now, to say to you that there are many things, and you can see the pattern of it in scripture, in nature. A number of things are counterintuitive. They move against what you would regard as common sense and intuition. This is one of them, the principle that when you have little, that's when you give. That's not a time to hoard. Most persons instinctively, you want to hoard, you want to complain, you want to, get tense and angry and nervous. But we understand that for the little bit to multiply, it needs to leave your hands and work. You gotta release. You have to release in order for it to do its work. Sometimes what you get is just a good feeling of having released, because it doesn't work in a straight line where, and it's not meant to, because this is not your commercial. It's not a transactional event. It's not a give to get. It's a give to give. And the giving in itself becomes your primary reward, because it represents your obedience to the covenant under which you were created.
Mm-hmm. To the
So
nature
let's
of
start
your
with
God.
that.
You
Yeah.
gave it to us.
And because we understand, the Sermon of the Mount is in Matthew 5 or 6. I heard myself saying Matthew 6 on somewhere. And I feel like it's Matthew. And now you introduce 4. Anyway.
Matthew 5 is Matthew 5. It's
Matthew
right
5.
after
Yeah.
he'd come out of the
His temptation.
yeah.
Right.
He declared the new covenant.
Yeah, but that's because I heard myself on the last. Anyway, I'm kind of nitpicking when it comes to correcting even me. So
You
we
need to
remember.
become generous with yourself.
I really this is my week to practice it,
Yeah,
because one of the reasons I'm on this path is because it is a reflection of my own journey
Mm-hmm.
and my own mindset where I am. So I am sharing that experience and just living the very principles that we speak of here. When we speak of them, it really impresses on us the greater need to be true to what we are saying. This is not just words because they sound nice and uplifting or good in the morning. We are preaching to ourselves in many ways, and we are we're experiencing with you the things we speak of. So once Christmas settled, and the last gift was under the tree, so to speak, and you then begin to plan for January, and you're looking at resources and you're trying to prioritize, and it's like, whoa, okay, January is always like this, and then like, why should I accept this from January? January, you gotta shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to think through, how do we really make that shift? I've known for a long time that the less you have, the more you give.
And that's it,
I've
you
known
have
that
said
for a
that
long
that is
time.
so, you know. Have you ever gone, like you visited relatives in rural areas, and when you go, despite their circumstance and situation, they believe they must always give you something.
Of course.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
and some of them are in very, you'd call it desperate circumstance, but there's a generosity of their spirit in terms of giving. I was recalling a place that I do ministry regular, and one of the person's father had died, and according to us, really, we don't expect anything from the community, and she was so overwhelmed and surprised. The church in the community is a rural farming community. The pastor came and said to them, "We don't know what it is, but this is what we're giving you towards the expenses for the funeral." You know what they did? They gave the family $100,000. Poor farming community, because that's what they do. That's how they live.
Yeah.
And even with that story, it just speaks to me. Let us not lose that in our country, in terms of the general generosity of spirit that we have as Jamaicans. I think we're losing it. And so we are saying, let's go back to our roots. Let's go back to who we are as a people. We are generous in spirit. And even as we come into January, which is tamarind season, let us now deliberately go against what our natural default position is, but override that with a generosity of spirit. Even out of the little that we have, let us share. Yeah.
I got taken up with a story of a homeless man who has lived on a bench in the Crossroads bus station, bus stop, for 8 years.
Right.
For 8 years. There's that story. And then there are let me see how many of them. I saved that story. There are the number of persons whom our Minister of Health and Wellness calls social patients. There are more than 500 persons who have been discharged but still remain in the island's major public health facilities. The longest running case being 14 years. And our Minister of Health and Wellness has decided that the best thing to do for these persons is to find their relatives and sue their relatives for the cost of that the government has incurred looking after them.
Remember, we had that big discussion.
Yeah, but oddly enough, and I don't take anything as coincidental in my life, apparently I had saved the story. Don't know. I just found it archived this morning as I was going through to see what was of relevance. The story broke on the 12th of December 2021, and somehow I saved it. And I looked at it this morning because I was thinking, what would be a wonderful gift for the nation, for Jamaica as a people now to say, this is a national gift. We're giving to ourselves, really, but we are looking for a good cause. I think this is one of the most worthy causes we could take up. 500 persons who need homes that have the capability to care for them. They have been left in state care in the hospital because obviously they can't look after themselves at home, and no one came back for them. I find this like one of the saddest things. The first thing I know is that there's no well-meaning Jamaican who would leave their
elderly
seniors.
persons?
Yeah, some of them are elderly persons. One man fell off a tree and was paralyzed from the waist down, and he's there. He's 49 years old. More likely than not, these are persons whose home situations cannot accommodate them, and the family members if there are family members. So, unlike the minister, I don't regard them as being the victims of delinquent care or unloving families. I regard them as persons, as citizens of Jamaica who need specialized care. That's it. They need specialized care. They don't need hospital grade care. but they need to be in homes where either homes for assisted living or nursing homes where staff and facilities are appropriate to their situation. Wouldn't it be a wonderful thing if we could organize placement for as many of these 500 persons as we can? Those who are of an age who need to be in an infirmary, or maybe the infirmaries, typically the infirmaries take old people. Is
Yeah.
that? But or maybe the infirmaries need the scope of it need to be broadened into home care, assisted home care for indigent persons, or even if they're not indigent, but the home situation can't work for them. Citizens can contribute to keeping their relatives in that kind of care, but it is organized by the state.
It is.
I
and
very often see the current state minister of wellness, a lady who somewhat we share some similar features, because I've often been mistaken for her.
Are you kidding me?
At the airport? Yes, like when I have my hair cut short like this, but permed or processed. I could have given out autographs.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yes.
and I met her in person and I could see why. I don't know how it stands up now with time and so on, but when she was still active in athletics, yeah, I've been mistaken for her in various places, both locally and abroad, and I had to concede that, you know what, I can see it. Anyway, I often see her at just doing things that she seemed to be. I said to Lowell that she seemed to be like how they treat the vice president of America. It's a position that you're just waiting if the president have a problem, you step in, but you don't have anything to do otherwise. You know the vice president of America? You're smiling, but you're not saying it. It's radio.
But
you have to speak.
I do not see her in that light.
No, but she's the person who you see at the bedside when the first baby born for the Christmas day, or you see her. Suffice it to say, I think that this would be an excellent initiative by the Minister of State in Health and Wellness. I think a project like this would allow her to demonstrate the capability that she has, but she never gets a chance at the main mic because the minister is always all over it.
No, but I see her. I would not make that comparison.
With the vice president?
Yes.
The stand-in for the president?
Because I really think that she's will probably do better than the president, vice president in the States. But anyway.
But understand, that I'm not saying she is a useless person.
No.
I'm saying she has been relegated to a role.
Me understand.
And I believe she has the capability. So
that's what I like, the capability to take something and run with it.
If Mrs. Cuthbert-Flynn is hearing, and if anyone knows her, I believe, I must try and reach out to her. I believe that she would do something with this. For one, she has the international appeal and standing to mobilize a charitable approach to it. 500 persons need to be in assisted living and some nursing care kind of facility. Rather than spend time trying to get the Attorney General to lead a march against citizens for them to come and take these persons, let the state do what it has obviously been doing for over 14 years for at least one man.
Okay.
That's why we pay taxes, to
in
put
a
some of these things
coordinated
in
way.
place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that would be the
So
national gift.
So one
if
of the
Jamaica
things,
could rise to the occasion, we could support a project like that.
So one of the things, if we could rein in crime and violence, rein in corruption, that 5 to 10% that we lose of our GDP could go to those things.
Well, now you're making it seem silly.
Oh, okay.
It's going to cost us more than that 5 or 10% to tame those two animals.
No, I'm saying
money we would save from reducing crime and violence, we're gonna spend it on maintaining peace and order.
That's what I'm saying, and this.
There won't be anything left for the 500 persons.
I think so. All right. Okay.
Well, you know why I say that? I'm not being facetious, but let's press it a little bit. I say it because when you look at all of the areas that are in decay or that are dysfunctional, which require treatment to address
some serious resources.
It's gonna, and we keep shying away from it. Education, for example.
Yeah, that's
all
a
of us
big
know.
one. We need to just have a program just speaking to what's happened in the education and what needs to be done. But
Yeah.
I tell you,
Right.
the research is coming out that our children, not only here, but international, with what has happened in the pandemic, are seriously at risk. And we're not going to see the true impact of that in not until many years from now. Wow.
15 years minimum.
Yeah, geez.
15 years. But I tell you what, for every one of those 15, you can be doing corrective things.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
And
we decide
should-
to do
and
it
we
now,
should
you know,
start.
yeah, the
We should
200,000,
So
they can't find.
I mean, for example, and I must get my hands on it. I've read and heard others say that the Orlando Patterson report on the education system.
It's ready?
Long time.
You sure?
It's a thing of the past. Come on, let's search.
No.
They have
I
said that
remember
we
that the
should-
last election they commissioned, and it was a whole lot of
No,
people.
there's one from before that has not been implemented yet.
No, you're talking the Patterson report?
Patterson. Is not Orlando Patterson?
No,
Professor
man,
Patterson?
no, man. The Patterson reform of education, that's long, and they've done some of it. Transformation education.
Well,
it was at
it's
the
not
booklet.
it has not been completely.
No, they've not. They've not
Right.
really done anything with it.
Right, okay. That's the one I'm talking about. Which Patterson did that report? Is that Orlando?
It was under. No, it wasn't. It wasn't his.
It wasn't.
The Orlando Patterson one is the one that Mr. Holness has commissioned just during the election, the last electioneering period.
So what's this love with the Pattersons and their reports?
I don't know. No, the first one was when he was prime minister. The task force, which was led by Ray Davis, who was former president of UTEC. He had chaired that.
No, I've been reading about. I'm gonna hunt up the one that I've been reading about. One which experts say if only we could just implement.
No, if we had done what that said, the task force on education that Mr. Patterson had commissioned when he was prime minister, if we had done even 30 or 40% of that, would have been way ahead of the game in regards to it.
Right. So I made mention of that because we talk about what to do. We know what to do.
This is the will to do it and to say this
we
is
know
where
what
we're
to do.
going. And same thing with
Yeah.
crime and violence. We know what we need to do. And as Professor Clayton had indicated, his thing was the trust. If I recall what he said, well, we have to start with our children in terms of those who are in primary school. If we really are going to bring about real change, that's going to change the culture, the mores and norms of our society. He says he can do some things now, but really go back to primary school education in terms of what you need to do. And ensuring that the resources are not just thrown, but make sure that there's proper measurement and evaluation of what you put in and what you get out. Yeah. I know
Do you
you're
have
talking
access
of.
to those reports? You could find it.
I had a copy of the task force, and if I can find it in my library at home, yeah.
Okay. I would love for us to sort of look at what are the highlights of the things we need to do and see what are the things that we can push from the private sector so we can talk about it here and inspire and motivate some of our thinkers and if not our thinkers, our agitators.
Yes. Or influencers.
Call them
That's a new
agitators.
word.
All right.
New word.
I want to acknowledge Desmond Tutu's passing.
Yes, I saw that and I said, ooh, it came up and I sent it to you, what they re-released.
Oh, Ramposa's.
Yes,
Very
Ramposa.
long.
Very long, but good. And so he was
Is it the
out
end
of the
of?
box.
Is it the end of an era? I mean, usually when those persons die, you're looking for the new hands and voices that carry a similar message of peace and activism, peaceful activism. Who now? To whom has the torch been passed? Is there a new torch bearer, or in this digital age, it's a universal torch.
It's an interesting
I'm
point.
playing with that idea.
But yeah, probably. But it has even greater impact beyond just one person bearing the torch. A multiplicity of persons around the world doing things, and we're in the age of the internet, so they can do a lot of sharing of ideas, and it becomes what I call a tsunami in terms of human rights around the world, in terms of speaking to the real issues about people's flourishing in the different societies that exist in the world.
So the reason I of course, I don't know that we need to observe a minute of silence. It is radio. A minute of silence can be very confusing for somebody who comes in at this 30-second mark. He died. Desmond Tutu died on Sunday in Cape Town. He was 90 years old, and he had been ill for the last few years, so we weren't hearing much from him. For example, there are no statements on how he sees the things that are current in world affairs. We don't know his thoughts on that because he hadn't been publishing or speaking. Almost all of the significant people in Jamaica have paid tribute to him, and we here would like to do the same by just kind of acknowledging the highlights, his greatest contribution, and see how we can be part of that thrust to keep those ideas and that activism alive. This is the point at which we'll take our 7 a.m. break. When we come back, we're just going to do a mini tribute to Desmond Tutu, and then we'll get on with our usual program. We'll get back on schedule with our own discussion. So let's take the break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Christmas has now come and gone. All gifts have been distributed, and people are likely taking the time to enjoy the tangible I love yous they received. But what if the gift you received or items you purchased are not working as expected? IT manager at the Consumer Affairs Commission, Andrew Eveling, recently spoke with Enthros Campbell, host of the JIS's discussion program Get the Facts, to outline the agency's redress policy, which seeks to help consumers resolve disputes with business owners. Here's an excerpt of that discussion.
Tell us about your redress policies. People are still shopping in store. Tell us about your redress policy.
Well, at the Consumer Affairs Commission, we can assist consumers in getting redress if they have a complaint against a particular vendor. So we encourage our consumers to make a report to the Consumer Affairs Commission. You can call our numbers, 876-619-4222. That goes up to 30, and you can speak to a complaints officer. The complaints officer will assist you, or you can go to our website at csc.gov.jm and you can type in your complaint, or you can use our mobile app. You can download our Android or Apple mobile app, search for Consumer Affairs Jamaica, and you will get it. But in general, work art is not exactly what they intended to purchase. They can go back to the store and ask for a replacement of that item. If they refuse to compensate you or replace or give you a refund, then you can make a complaint to the Consumer Affairs Commission.
So we should all keep our receipts.
Oh, that is so important.
Yes.
Without a receipt, it's going to be difficult for us to pursue that case.
Okay.
Very important.
Okay. I went to the store recently and I saw a sign, no refund. I was so surprised to see that. So how should we respond to a sign like that?
No, that sign is wrong, because for businesses to conform to the Consumer Protection Act, they should offer the option of replacement or redress if the item that the consumer purchased is not working, defective, or for some reason it is not satisfying their specific requirement. Then they should offer a refund or replacement of that item. Yeah. Everybody has that right.
So I go to a store as well, and I'm told I bought a piece of, I buy something like a toaster, and they tell me I'll have only 3 months on it.
There is a manufacturer's warranty on these devices that usually is the warranty period that we should abide by. But sometimes the store, they don't necessarily want to go through the process of replacing and all of that sort of thing. So they might tell you, oh, it's just 1 week warranty you have on this item because it's an electrical item.
Right.
So that is wrong.
So I can actually come to you if they tell me I have 3 months.
You can come to us, you can phone us, make a complaint. We're very effective in resolving complaints at the Consumer Affairs Commission. We have a very high rate of resolution at the Consumer Affairs Commission.
Tell us a little bit more now about the work that you're doing at the CAC.
The Consumer Affairs Commission is a consumer protection agency by the government of Jamaica. We not just take complaints and resolve complaints on behalf of consumers, but we also do research. We do price surveillance. That price information on common consumer items, we actually publish it on our website, and it's available on our mobile app. So we encourage consumers to download the mobile app, and you can get the latest grocery prices on it, the latest petrol price, and also when back to school time, we publish our textbook prices on it. Right now, in COVID, we're actually doing, and a lot of people probably don't know this, but we're actually surveying sanitation items. So we have a regular price alert on sanitation items. You can get on our website. Right?
Your final word for the consumers.
At Consumer Affairs Commission, we always say, you have the right as a consumer to make a complaint. If it doesn't look good, if the product is not working, if the vendor is not satisfying your specific requirements, make a complaint to the Consumer Affairs Commission. Don't fuss with that vendor. Just make a complaint. We are very effective in resolving complaints on behalf of you.
IT Manager at the Consumer Affairs Commission, Andrew Eveling, speaking with Enthros Campbell on JIS's discussion program Get the Facts. Catch the full interview on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to like, comment, and share.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Tune in to Best 100 FM. Join me, your host, Minute Lawrence, on the Morning Connection, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday to Thursday. Get ready, get ready.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
The Best 100 FM.
Close a long day on a Tuesday afternoon with a great company. While you're heading home, stuck in traffic, or on your way to work. Yes, when life throws you Tuesday, turn up and let it be a Tuesday. And choose On the Air with Tashika Lou, your one-stop, entertaining, inspiring late afternoon show with friendly conversations, song requests, positive affirmation, learn something to improve your health, and submission box when you, my listeners, share your relationship problems.
Hold on. What you just say? You're engaged this man for 5 years and I know him can't marry you? Is that prank? No, I don't need.
Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is heard everywhere.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. We parted on a somewhat somber note intending to return with to share with you some of the highlights, famous quotes, positions, teachings from the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, well, retired Archbishop at the time of his death. And in the break, we learned that CVM has lost one of their bright lights, Khadijah Thomas. I don't know the circumstances we're trying to, but it is already being posted on various social media platforms that she has passed away. And so, of course, we too would express our condolences to her family and her colleagues at CVM. Whatever the circumstances of her death, we here know that the great loss is for those who remain here, because for us, death is a promotion.
True.
Still, we know that it is occasioned by grieving, especially when it is someone so young. Desmond Tutu passing away at 90 years of age, that is no shock.
No, okay, that's true, yeah. 70 is promised, 3 square and 10. So there are 20 more.
It is expected, and I gather too, he was ailing in the latter years of his life, so it was also probably a relief to him to finally move into his new position.
And then, in that vein, also to acknowledge the passing of a land as a Calabar, John Messam. He was president of COBA. He helped to start the National Field Events and Hurdles Championship. And somebody who had the importance of young men at his heart. And so he did a lot of things, and I was a part of that. Yeah, man.
Okay.
In terms of the mentorship at Calabar, welcome service.
My condolences to you.
Yeah, man. But he was ailing too. He had multiple strokes and so on. But somebody that I looked up to. He previously held the record at champs in Class 1 for the 110-meter hurdles. Yeah, so condolence to his family and to the Rabelak family at large. Yeah.
I'm always, in another place, I have a lot of conversations about death, because I've always been curious about death, how we acknowledge it, how we relate to it, and mostly how people fear it. And, you know, I tend to be accused of thinking too much. So naturally, I overthink death. But one of the things, you know, years ago when I used to travel, I used to photograph cemeteries.
Are you serious?
I have lots of photographs of cemeteries. Any country I go to,
that's morbid.
I try to see. No, it was just, I just had a great curiosity about the cultural implications of society's relationship and acknowledgement of death. The things we do, there's some, you know, even, you know, the Jewish custom of putting the body away before sundown.
Yeah.
On the same day.
Yeah.
That you've died. I find that very bracing and efficient. And I think perhaps that is the best custom that I have seen. Africans, Jamaicans, that business of the 9-night and the long watch and the, you know, the prolonged attention to mourning and so on, that that's not my preferred approach. The whole business of burning the wife with the husband.
Okay, in some countries.
In some countries.
Yes.
Naturally, I'm not in favor of that one.
Oh, my Lord.
Either.
But you know, that goes back to the pharaohs.
Yes, the Taj Mahal and the pyramids.
Yes, the wife was with the husband.
And the concubines too.
Yes.
That's so the pyramids had to be big depending on how much the man had.
Yeah.
Yeah, so over time we see culturally how we treat death says a lot about what we believe in and who we are and so on. So yeah, I went through my period of photographing cemeteries. I mean, in Jamaica, you see some of the elaborate sepulchres and things that are.
I find that so interesting.
Yeah.
You go to Haiti.
See, you find it interesting too.
I find it so interesting. No, have you been to the number 5 cemetery? That's all.
No,
Spanish.
I stopped being interested in
The
cemeteries
Spanish
a long
Town
time ago.
Spanish Town Road.
Occasionally, I'll see something and I
Really?
remember.
And you see some of the things that
The truck and the
the
house.
OC and the, yes, and I'm going, okay.
Maypen Cemetery.
Maypen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maypen.
Yeah.
This 5 is Maypen. That's on Spanish Town Road.
Yeah, I stopped.
I've actually done some
I was
internments
cured.
there.
I did therapy and got over my cemetery thing. But death and how we respond to death, every year, I mean, when you come in contact with a child, you have to start it all over again as you try to explain and help them to understand it and put it in the right context. The great pain of death is those who are left behind and miss the person and so on. And I've also learned that if you had a right relationship with the person, yeah, you miss them in that nostalgic kind of way, but especially if they were sick or so on and so forth, you're okay. You know, you pay your respects and you're okay. And if you had the right relationship, they live on in your conversation and your memories. That it's as if they're on a vacation somewhere. You know, they and then over time, you begin to speak about them less and less, and occasionally, you will commemorate the memory, but it gets less painful. Now, for someone like Desmond Tutu, who was a large figure at a time when the world was seeking to understand and deal with some big issues that spoke to human rights, fundamental human rights. Some of the things we take for granted now were, this was a real Animal Farm situation. All animals are born equal, but some are more equal than others, and the others who were more equal were not letting go of the stage. And there are some really poignant and noteworthy quotations from his life that I just want to share, like 1 or 2 of them with you as we acknowledge his passing, and then we're going to just keep in the back of our minds the thought: how do we ensure that the fire he lit does not go out, or the flame which he continued? And I'm speaking now as a black person of African descent living in a country that is still troubled by many of the issues which were rampant in Desmond Tutu's day. So let's go with one of my favorites. This is like number 1. He was quoted as saying, and this now, the context, reading the Bible with third world eyes. He said, "If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality." And that is applicable to so many situations, that even that situation of the 500 people in state care in the hospital, where our leader in the health ministry is looking to go and hunt down poor people and penalize them for not stepping up to take care of these family members, assuming that there are family members, instead of doing the right thing, of putting a proper arrangement in place for persons like that. I don't appreciate that. I mean, I have kind of stretched the meaning of what he's saying a bit, but the idea is that if you are going to go hunt down one individual to punish them for something, we here cannot be neutral. The public cannot stand back and let the state throw its weight against the 1 or 2 citizens who they think ought to step up and take care of these individuals. It's not time for us to be neutral. We need to advocate for the rights of those 500 persons, for them to be treated with dignity. Quote number 2. During his address at the Nelson Mandela Foundation in 2004, Tutu said, "My father always used to say, don't raise your voice, improve your argument. Good sense does not always lie with the loudest shouters, nor can we say that a large, unruly crowd is always the best arbiter of what is right.
Wrong and strong.
Mm-hmm. But also, we have a tendency when we can't, as we saw it, our Prime Minister railed at us, called us stupid and ignorant, and so on. When we are not having our way, we have a habit of raising our voice instead of doing the research, going back to basics, and just doing the right thing. You know, this is being played out on the world stage now. All of the persons who were rushing and pushing people to get vaccinated because that will end the problem, they are now kind of with egg on their face, and it is going to get a little crazier in coming months as they realize that pushing people to be vaccinated and taking boosters and so on will not fix the problem, has not fixed the problem, and cannot fix the problem. And fresh solutions out of dialogue and consensus and moving in harmony and working at the community levels, those solutions, which we've always advocated here,
early detection,
are really,
early treatment.
Absolutely. It is a process. It's not a one jab moment. We tend to like to just do something quick and get it over with.
Fix it instantaneously.
This is a process, and what's beautiful about this process, dare I use that word, is if we get that process right for this problem, it fixes a whole heap of other problems.
Do you think that is why in Barbados they've called a snapped election?
Listen, you know my view.
Yes.
The lady knows that some very hard work lie ahead of whomever is leading the team, and you don't want to be distracted by elections in another 18 months. Whoever has the scepter,
I
got rid of the queen. Whoever has the scepter for the next 5 years or whatever period of time needs to be very focused and not be worried about political capital and the things that perturb a leader's head when they need to take tough decisions and may sometimes coax an unwilling public into seeing things in a particular way. So yes, that's why I tell you, for good or ill, get it done and set about doing the work. The issues with climate change, and we will see them as we go through the various hurricane seasons, droughts, crazy cyclones and tornadoes that not supposed to be here, volcanoes erupting that we didn't even know existed, the seafood disappearing because currents have changed and the fish gone somewhere else, or countries bigger than us begin to enter our waters and take away our food. You know that does happen, because they are running out of stock in the waters that they fish. They keep coming closer and closer. Very soon there are some things which we'll only get as imports, because we won't be able to find it. Our fishermen are pretty much being moved into obscurity anyway by all kinds of other economic factors. But as those things begin to tighten around us, it's going to be all the more necessary to work in a particular way. Working together is going to, it sounds very simple, but working together, arriving at consensus, sharing resources is going to be more important in the region, in the communities, in our homes than ever before. And if we could get that approach right regarding the virus, it will handle a lot of the issues pertaining to crime and violence, because we won't have time to be putting up with foolishness from the brother and the sister and the man and all the other people who are the violence enablers. So, Desmond Tutu said, don't raise your voice, improve your argument. It's not the loudest or the most unruly crowd that will have the answer. I'm just going to share one more of his saying, which when you hear it, you'll know. It requires no explanation. He said, be nice to whites. They need you to rediscover their humanity. No explanation required for that one. And let me do your favorite. I'm calling it your favorite because you kind of, you I'm looking for it. In another book, No Future Without Forgiveness, Tutu wrote, "A person with Ubuntu is open and available to others, affirming of others, does not feel threatened that others are able and good, for he or she has a proper self-assurance that comes from knowing that he or she belongs in a greater whole and is diminished when others are humiliated or diminished when others are tortured or oppressed or treated as if they were less than who they are." What I love about that particular quote is that he focuses on the impact of hurting others rather than the impact of elevating others. I mean, everybody knows how to celebrate and to feel enriched by the good work of others. But how many of us suffer and feel pain when we see our brothers and sisters being humiliated or oppressed or treated badly? And that is the test of our humanity. Not the celebration when they rise, but hurting with them and feeling some responsibility for making sure that it doesn't happen to someone else.
Okay.
And that is the tribute which I wish to share with our listening public. Desmond Tutu was certainly a powerful voice, but no more powerful than the voice you have. And the sentiments that he expressed, the things for which he was well known, are not foreign to any of us. All of those things are within our reach. All of us are capable of demonstrating the same courage, the same strength, and of looking around us to see where we can impact the lives of others by sharing those attitudes, by teaching, and as he says, by remaining and demonstrating Ubuntu. Do you remember Ubuntu? An open source software that the Africans tried. They raised as a challenge to Microsoft, the dominance of. It is still around, says the producer. I haven't heard of it in a long time, and I don't know. It's a free software. So the idea is that instead of being enslaved to some of the products, the Apple and the Microsoft of this world. It used to be a thing some years ago. Everybody tried to build something using Ubuntu. And I believe that maybe in honor of Tutu's passing, you'll find a fresh interest in making sure that some of these drivers of the technology are relatable to us and are owned by us. I don't know if you saw it on the weekend. There was an article written about... It was about the difficulty for various African languages to be represented in technology.
Because of what?
Because the pronunciation and the knowledge and awareness of these languages, most of the software developers are operating within an Asian or a North American context.
Okay.
And they're very familiar with the diction and the languages and the rhythms of the people from those areas. But Africa, whole continent, and maybe the same is true for India, I don't know. But we're looking at Africa and recognizing that unless linguists and persons, similarly trained, take on the job of building these softwares and making sure that these voices can be recognized. When Siri became so popular in Jamaica, I had an ongoing quarrel with Siri because I would speak I'd speak with a Jamaican accent. Siri, can you do so and so? And Siri don't understand me. Lowell was training Siri to recognize his voice, but I was not training her. She need to know my voice because it's my phone. As a consequence, I don't use Siri. I don't use any of those voice-activated programs much because I don't know. They keep saying I don't understand. When you're pronouncing it, the name, they give you some other pronunciation of the name, or they find somebody else with a. I'm like, we really need to. So I've been aware of it in the Caribbean context, And there's also the facial recognition part of the thing too. Now they've done a much better job with facial recognition, but these softwares were built to recognize bone
Caucasian.
structure of some Asian, because a lot of it is done in China and India.
Okay.
But all of our many different faces. But no, they've done a much better job, because I remember hearing someone speak on it, and it was a well-placed person in America who got invited into, having talked about it extensively, he got invited into some higher level discussions with Apple and Google, and so a decision was taken to include a wider cross-section of Hispanic and African faces in the
That
algorithms.
sounds like a good thing, though, you know.
Yeah. To cheat the system.
Yeah, it's so, Lowell. See that they don't recognize us as Africans and our voices. We can get around the system and not be controlled as it was with those kind of things if they don't wake up to that reality. Does Desmond Tutu has had worldwide impact in terms of thing. Bit controversial. You might say
He spoke truth to power.
Yeah, but controversial in terms of being an Anglican bishop and the church up to the point when he married his daughter in Netherlands. They had not blessed same-sex union. So controversial in that way in terms of he went against it because of his own personal thing. So there is that. I guess all of us as those kind of leaders will come against because of personal positions and what we do and how we respond to it. Anyway. But
yes, he was famously known to be opposed to xenophobia and homophobia.
Yeah.
And you've teased out one more quote from him because of the comment you made. He published, this is one of his books, A Vision of Hope for Our Time. He wrote, "When we see others as the enemy, we risk becoming what we hate. When we oppress others, we end up oppressing ourselves. All of our humanity is dependent upon recognizing the humanity in others. It is through weakness and vulnerability that most of us learn empathy and compassion and discover our soul." So I think I am one of one of his torchbearers, because I refuse to be hemmed in by rituals and traditions, and I look for the humanitarian response in every situation. If what we are doing, the course we are pursuing on any issue, is causing pain and is oppressing others and is depriving someone, even one person, of the free expression of themselves, their ideas, then it means we need to stop and take another look at what we're doing. Whether it goes against your personal values or not. The respect for others requires us to always make that self-check, always. It's time for a 7:30 break. We're going to open the lines early. That's a part of our giving this year. For this week. That's a part of our giving. We open the lines early. And somewhere around, maybe I'll decide what time. When we come back, I'll announce it. I will ask the first question for the Ligony Club giveaway. It's a 1-month free access membership, which is courtesy of the Ligony Club. And it will be for one person who can answer correctly as many of the 3 questions that we're going to pose. 1 question per day. Stay with us.
We'll be right back.
Half a tree, 1 and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
This is my station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bass FM, keep listening.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
The best 100 FM.
Hey, Zay, let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Donna, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith that God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
Praise him, praise him, praise him, praise him, praise him. And the no name of Jah, if you tie me up. And the no name of Jah, if you mix me up. So them evil, so them lie, so them corrupt. Scheming and them planning, but we not give up. Jehovah and the one way ya hold me up. In and the Father we put trust and Jah. Jah they done with the name done. Jah so forget him. Come and then you with dada. They done shake there. Done mama. Wicked and evil. Jah confess slaughter. Cool way in you and the whole scripture. And live and faith and night and the holy water. No need not a Glock. Lie down.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection, and thank you for staying with us. All right, so before we open the lines, let me tell you the numbers. Then I will lay down the foundation rules for the Ligani Club giveaway. The numbers to call us are 876-619-1508. 876-619-1508. The other number is 876-279-8473. This is the WhatsApp number, 876-279-8473. I will repeat the numbers throughout because especially we're doing the giveaways, both of the care packages, the high-low care packages, as well as the Ligani Club, but I'm doing Ligani Club first. Here are some basic rules to remember. Members, existing club members, and relatives of club members are not eligible for this prize. This prize is to go to someone who has no relationship with the Ligani Club. The target is to build new relationships. So club members and relatives, you're not eligible. But I think it has to be close relatives, children, spouse. I mean, if you're a cousin or that's okay. When you start to set rules, you begin to all kind of parameters creep up. Presenters and their families. So Pastor Percy, myself, the producer, engineer, not eligible. Presenters, Best FM staff, not eligible. The answers will only be taken by telephone. I thought of email and text, but that is too hard. A part of showing yourself worthy for the prize is your diligence in calling us. And of course, we want you to listen to the program. So it's for those listeners who stay tuned and will just constantly make the effort to call us. Once the lines are open, you will try to call us with the answer. I will give the question at around, maybe we'll just do it at around 8 so people have enough time to try and get through to us with the answer. The person who wins will need to provide with phone number, a photo ID, so that the Ligani Club can prepare their ID card and confirm the membership. So that's it. Good morning to all of you who are online, who are listening to us on air. Just to recap for you before we open the lines, we're opening the lines now. Just to recap for you, we are this morning talking about transforming the lean month of January into the giving and loving month of December. We want to bring the same spirit of giving and caring and love into January, which Pastor tell me is usually tamarind season. That might mean it's sour. Now that I think about it, because tamarinds are notoriously sharp.
Have you ever had a tamarind that was sweet?
No.
You have some of those, yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and we are piggybacking or just continuing in the same vein. Last week we spoke about repentance, the attitude of repentance as being the foundation for making our transition into this new year. It is going to be a challenging year in many ways. It's going to challenge our humanity most of all, our sense of humanity. We are leaving December with some issues on the table that we're going to have to settle in the coming year. The business of the rights of employees vis-a-vis the concern that employers have to maintain a safe workspace. Coming out of December, the festivities, the celebrations, the forgetting to maintain appropriate social distance and partying past curfew hour. We see what has happened in St. Anne. What is it? 5 persons injured, 2 dead. All of the excesses of the recent weeks, both on the social scene as well as in the area of crime and violence. We're moving into the new year with some of those things on the table, and we've got to be very sober in our approach to them. Would you please open the phone lines, or it's done already? So the conversation this morning is, how do we carry that spirit of loving generosity into January? January is usually the month where we forego many things because we spent it already in December. But instead, we now need to have the attitude of giving generously from the little that we have left. It's very counterintuitive, it's radical, it is very scriptural nonetheless, that it is the widow's mite that carries the greatest weight. It is from the little that the widow of Zarephath got her great miracle from the prophet. We have the first caller on the line, so I'll just welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Lawrence. This is Bailey. How are you guys?
We are well.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, remember, this is the person whose name is written on the ticket said you last time.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right, but I don't have the question. I'm not going to ask the question yet. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
You know what? You've provoked me. You got the first call. Are you still there?
Yes, sorry. I don't know what's happening with the phone.
All right. So the first question, I'm going to ask you the first question. I'll just take your answer.
Okay.
All right. What's the first question again? How many rooms does the Ligani Club have? Give me, you have to give me your, I'll let you give it to the producer.
Okay, great.
38 rooms at Ligani Club.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. So let me hand you over to the producer so you can leave your name and number so we don't forget that you were the first person to answer the first question.
Okay, but Bailey, any issue at hand that you want to talk about as we bring to an end the new year? The old year and enter into the new year.
I think we have a real serious problem with discipline in the country. The unlawfulness is really, really getting worse. And every day I pray for God to intervene because I know only Him can help us. It's gone way too bad. There's an issue where I think, like even the Police Act, according to who knows who, and some persons get to do whatever they want to do in the country and they get away with it. For instance, you have persons who will play as loudly as they want to play night after night, like nightclubs, and that's like there's a commercial area near a residential area, so to speak, and they play as loudly as they want to. The police will tell you that they got no permission to play or to have dances, but you'll find that they tell you that they either come to the area, which is a lie, of course, and nothing is done that plays straight through the night. So persons who can't take the noise, they are held like hostage in their homes because everything is coming through your houses. And I think it's really, really a shame that you work hard and then you just cannot even enjoy the benefits of your labor, where you buy your house. And when you buy a house, it's not like you bought it in a commercial area. You bought it in a residential area. You can't sleep. The nastiness that you have to listen to, I mean, they don't care if it's around children, what age group, and this is how we live. I mean, it's a kind of shame. So,
I want to give you a word of encouragement on that. It does require some discipline and effort to speak up against these things, but there are laws against noise pollution, and if you don't want to speak but you want to write a letter, I think or send an email, I think citizens need to really get into the habit of calling these things out. And whenever you find a listening ear that may belong to somebody in authority, you say it as often as you can. That is just the first level of activism and response and resistance to these things. And if you have a group in the community that can speak with one voice, it might not even be an established group. It might just be all of the persons on a particular street. Sign something and drop it off at your police station or a government office, or send it to the public defender. Something. I'm provoking citizens to just find a way to give voice to the things that concern them, so that after a while, every little pebble that goes into the ocean will eventually create a mountain. But be encouraged. A lot of us have gone through those kinds of things and understand that it is happening in the best of neighborhoods. The lawlessness doesn't have any conscience. So all of us have to speak against it.
It's really bad, and people don't really come together. And again, you can't blame persons, because might I tell you how the police tells people, the perpetrators who are calling when they call?
Yes, yeah.
These are men saying to me that they're afraid to call. So can you imagine?
Yeah.
They tell the people that you call and who call.
Well, call outside of the zone. Sometimes that's what you need to do.
Yes.
Yeah, use a friend, use your community or your network and says, oh, this is happening now. Can you make a call and block the number that call? There are ways that you can use the device, but don't give up hope. The fact is, it is that you have recognized that problem. You probably can find one or two more persons who are having a similar thing. And you spoke about prayer, so I'm assuming that you are a person of faith. And so it says where one or two agree touching anything. Let's see how that works. Put that principle to work and see how that works for you, Bailey. Well, thanks for calling. Really appreciate it.
You are most welcome.
All right, stay tuned.
Miss Lawrence,
Yes.
just one other thing. Is there any possible way at some point I can get to speak with you for a minute offline?
Sure. When you leave your number with the engineer, I give you a call.
I would really appreciate that.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, guys. And
You're
same
welcome.
to you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. I love it when things go in an organic way. So now tomorrow morning by 7:44, we need to have the second question.
But she was, remember she called last week.
You know, if I were a betting person, I'd put my money on Bailey for this prize.
Okay.
I think she has spoken it in the universe.
She said it last week, you know.
Yes. So I love it that someone who is really interested and would appreciate it.
And has been listening.
That problem which she mentioned, there was something else in I was having a conversation. Actually, this is a friend of mine who I'm gonna see if she will come on, and no, she's actually agreed that she will come and speak with me on these issues. We're talking about what's happening in the communities, how developments are being pursued when community members have an interest in something. How do they go about pursuing that interest? And she was saying to me that the parish councils will have accessible to the public a registry that you can access online. You can see, when plans are submitted for different things, you can see the plans and I'm sure it will have a place where you can give your feedback on various things. We really do need to step up the communication platform, how citizens interact with local government.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely need to do it. I remember years ago living in the Ligony Avenue area, and there's a church that had some kind of open air, something that used to go on. That area where Low Shoe Sand is, they used to put up a tent. Do you remember when they used to put up a tent in somewhere in the Barbican Square and have church?
Yeah.
In the night? And let me tell you, man, those church people were worse than any dance hall people.
Why you say that?
Loud music and tambourining and noise going all into the 1 o'clock.
Until 1 o'clock?
Late, just like any dance hall.
So they never recognize.
I used to call the police.
Mm.
I tell you, it was when I moved out of that neighborhood, I said, that's it. Church behaved the same way. Dance hall is the same thing. Noise is noise, you know. The fact that they're praising the Lord don't make no difference to the person who wants to sleep.
Okay.
But I used to call, and they would say, "Oh, miss, we got a call already," and so on and so forth. We need to be more responsive to some of those things. But I think it really requires the citizens to keep up the pressure. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning, Miss Lawrence.
Hi, good morning, sir.
So all the best for the season and the
good
new
morning,
year too.
Pastor.
Yeah, man. What's up?
Yeah, and how are you guys?
We are well, thank you.
Good, man. We're in that spirit of generosity.
Yes.
Okay. I want to start as I want to recommend the management of the Emancipation Park.
Mm-hmm.
And the security, Mr. Walker. The head security.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the management of the head security, Mr. Walker. Yeah, the long weekend. It was so superb, you know?
Okay.
I went to the park and I really appreciate how they carry on and how they deal with the visitors at the park.
Okay. That's wonderful.
It was so nice. I want to say good wishes to the management, which is a lady. I forgot her name now. You know?
Don't worry. Persons who are listening and know.
Yeah, she put in a very nice and decorate the decoration of the park.
Yes, I did glimpse
superb.
that 1 or 2 evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
it
beautifully
was
done.
superb.
My man.
It's beautifully done, and I want to say congrats to the mayor also, Mr.
Williams.
Mr. Williams.
Mr. Delroy Williams.
Yeah, for really put,
Yeah.
You see, because the park used to close, like 6 on holiday, and they allow it to go until 9.
Okay. So people had a little more
Yeah.
time.
It's so nice, to the kids running around,
Yes. Oh.
playing with the chariot. And they put up a chariot,
Okay. And they
Yeah,
can move around,
Oh,
yeah.
that's what that
Yeah,
was.
and the candy bread. It's candy bread?
I have. Oh, they had a gingerbread house.
Yeah, gingerbread, yeah. Yeah, nice, like a gingerbread house. And a snowman, a big snowman. Yeah.
I've seen it from a distance and saw that it was beautifully done. And more than anything else, for you to have gone there and confirmed, yes, I receive on their behalf
Yeah, man.
the commendations and thank
Yeah,
you
and
for
I
making a
want
point
to-
of doing so.
And Miss Williams, I want to the security company. I don't know if I can call it name.
You sure
think it's
can.
You sure can.
I think it's Secure Cure.
Oh, Secure Quarry.
Yeah.
I know them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the one that responds for the housing trust.
Yeah, man.
Okay, it's such a wonderful thing when you can single out the security crew for their courtesy. I have no doubt because that's a big part of how they interact with the public.
Yeah,
that they are
really-
courteous
really
and compassionate in dealing with the strangeness of children and the unpredictability of old people and
Everybody else.
everybody trying to use the park. That's really wonderful. I've had not
but-
so good interaction with security guards.
Just to show, just to
elsewhere.
show that things can work in Jamaica.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my brother, for singling that
Yeah.
out.
Because Mr. Peter Walker, that is the
That's the name.
security management
Yes.
at the park.
Yes.
Yeah, he was superb, man.
All right. Thank you, my
All right,
brother.
bros.
I have another call on hold. I don't want to limit the celebratory tone of your call. But
Okay,
can
all
I
right.
take another call? And please feel free to call us back.
All right, then. Good.
All right. Have a great day. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, hello. Good morning to you both.
Hey, good
Good
morning,
morning, sir. How are you?
All right, thank you. I heard you talking about Desmond
Desmond
Tutu, the
Tutu.
Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't learn much about him, but did I hear you say that he married his
Daughter. That
In
is
the- in
what,
Netherlands, yes.
What does that mean?
Yes,
What do you mean? He
same-sex
he
marriage.
officiated at
He
her wedding. Is that what you
officiated
mean?
at her
Yes,
wedding.
yes,
Yes.
that's what he did.
You know, my brother,
Okay.
when Pastor said it, I was about to ask him to explain, but
No, but it's what it was.
Sometimes when pastor speaks, he doesn't
he leaves.
explain himself.
I know he leaves you guessing. I guess that's his way of provoking a call.
Yes,
when he
true,
said
true.
it, I was gonna say, Pastor, married his daughter. You sure?
Yes, man. He married his daughter in the Netherlands to
He
another woman.
officiated at her
But-
wedding.
Yes, yes.
He's-
Well, so you're saying when a person says, are you saying that is proper language? That's the language of every pastor? I mean, I don't quite understand. I married my daughter. I don't understand.
Okay, he officiated at the ceremony in which his daughter got married to another woman in the Netherlands. That's correct.
Oh, so he is an archbishop of God, I suppose.
Anglican Church.
Anglican Church.
Yeah, that's of God or what? That is God or
Yes, they are
the
Christian.
Anglican Church.
is supporting now. God is
Well,
supporting
you
that
never,
now.
Reggie, but hold on, you never know that. That is part of the controversy, even in the Church of England, in terms of some people have disassociated themselves and come out of the union in England. So you have one sector which says, no, we don't see that. We don't see that as being biblical, and one set that support. That happens in the States too, in the United States. Yeah.
Well, I'm well aware that it is happening all over the earth. But
Yeah.
that is what the question is that what people who are looking forward to God returning, that's what we're to do now?
But brother,
Can I give you an even more provocative thought?
Yeah.
The Apostle Paul says, when discussing the nature of the renewed man and the spirituality that is in Christ, he said, in Christ, we are neither male nor female, bond or free, married or given in marriage.
yeah, but
No, just let me finish the provocative thought.
but,
The reality of it is that in Christ, these things do not matter. There is no distinction. We are all one in Christ. Some of the interpretations of the Bible are based on the cultural positions of the people doing the interpretation and based on what society requires to be in place, either to replenish itself or to maintain order. And there are some issues about which I think the church and others simply take a position which is either cultural or political, and they leave it at that. Me personally,
yes, right.
any kind of their sexual sin is a matter of immorality or promiscuity or excessive behavior. And it can be in a homosexual or a heterosexual context, and sin is sin.
Okay.
In my
But in
way of
terms
thinking.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to the vilification or punishment of persons whose sin is different from the sins to which I am accustomed or the sins that I might occasionally fall prey to. I don't believe in that personally. But I do recognize that many church leaders and thinkers are of a different view and believe that some sinners should be excluded from the faith.
No, I don't think I don't think that's what it is really. Even in terms of the context that Minette has raised, if you understand the context in terms of what Paul was saying, it wasn't related to the expression of our sexuality. Because the expression of our sexuality goes back, I always say, to what the original intent was. It says male and female created he them. And so if that was the original thing in terms of male and female, in terms of the heart of God, according to what we see in the scriptures, it's so important that we deal with that. I am not one of the persons who will vilify somebody whether they are homosexual or not, because I must admit, in terms of my heart goes out to them in terms of the challenges that they have, because whether you sin sexually, whether heterosexually
or homosexually,
it's still a sin. It's still a sin. So God challenged us, and there are some things in terms of what I believe why God has said that. In terms of, she speaks about the original intent was to be fruitful and multiply. And even with the latest thing in terms of what happens in terms of technology, we still have those challenges.
Are you still there?
No, it's not there, but...
No, all right, so we can take our break now because I was really deferring to his presence on the line.
Yeah,
we can continue the...
We'll be right back.
BBC News. Hello, I'm Tom Watts. The Supreme Court in Russia has banned one of the country's best-known and oldest human rights organizations, Memorial. Prosecutors accused it of betraying the Soviet Union as a terrorist state. From Moscow, here's Steve Rosenberg.
International Memorial is one of the oldest NGOs in Russia. For the last 30 years, it's been researching the crimes of the Soviet state against the people, cataloguing the victims of Joseph Stalin's Great Terror. But now, Russia's Supreme Court has ruled that Memorial violated Russia's draconian foreign agents legislation and must be shut down. The founding of Memorial in the late 1980s was highly symbolic, a symbol of the Soviet Union opening up and facing up to its past. Today's decision to close Memorial is a symbol, too, of how in modern Russia the past is being rewritten and how civil society is under attack.
China has accused the United States of putting astronauts in danger by ignoring obligations under treaties on outer space. The Foreign Ministry statement came several weeks after China complained to the UN that its space station twice had to take action to avoid collisions with satellites launched by the American company SpaceX. Here's Stephen McDonnell.
They're saying is on both occasions the Tiangong space station, which is ready to go into operation next year, but already has astronauts on board, sort of getting it ready, has twice had to manoeuvre to avoid collisions with satellites being operated by Elon Musk's SpaceX company. Some scientists have said that if one of those satellites was to directly hit the Tiangong space station, it would potentially kill everybody on board.
Prosecutors in Hong Kong have filed a charge against the media tycoon Jimmy Lai of publishing seditious material. Mr. Lai, who is already serving a jail sentence after being found guilty of unauthorised assembly, appeared in court alongside 6 former colleagues of his pro-democracy Apple Daily newspaper, which was closed 6 months ago. All 7 defendants are accused of conspiracy to print and distribute seditious publications. A court in South Africa has ordered the energy company Shell to halt a seismic survey which began in early December along the ecologically sensitive Wild Coast in Eastern Cape province. David Bamford reports.
Environmental organisations have argued that seismic blasting planned by Shell in the waters off the Wild Coast would be harmful to marine animals, especially migrating whales, and damaging to the rights of the local community. South Africa's Energy Ministry has defended Shell's plans, saying its critics want to deprive Africa of energy resources. Shell earlier warned that if the interim suspension was granted, it might cancel the entire operation, losing the chance to extract millions of dollars worth of oil and gas.
World News from the BBC. Sri Lanka is to close 3 diplomatic missions in a bid to cut costs. The Sri Lankan High Commission in Nigeria and consulates in Germany and Cyprus will be closed from January. The island's tourism-dependent economy has been severely affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Young doctors working at government hospitals in India have threatened to shut down medical services, accusing the police of a crackdown on protests held on Monday. Our India correspondent Yoga Tilamaye reports.
Public hospitals, and in particular young doctors working in them, have been at the forefront of India's battle against COVID. The doctors are protesting against a delay in conducting a screening process, which would allow as many as 45,000 students with degrees in medicine to join government hospitals. Doctors who are participating in the demonstrations have told the BBC that they are stretched thin, and with fears of a new COVID wave on the horizon, they need reinforcements quickly. The doctors are threatening a strike if their demands are not met.
Houthi rebels in Yemen have given temporary permission for the United Nations and other agencies to fly into the airport in the capital, Sana'a. Flights were stopped last week after a series of strikes on the airport by the Saudi-led coalition fighting the Iranian-backed rebels. The Houthi-run aviation authority said it had managed to temporarily fix damaged communications and navigational devices, but urged the UN to help get replacement equipment. And the mummified body of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh has been unwrapped for the first time in 3,000 years, not physically, but digitally, using computerized tomography, or CT scans. Writing in the journal Frontiers in Medicine, researchers described in detail the appearance of Amenhotep I, who ruled Egypt 3,500 years ago, and the exquisite jewellery he was buried with. They'd been reluctant to uncover him because of the perfection of his wrapping. BBC News.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station. Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bass FM. Keep listening.
They started, when they talk about rights, they never started that. They were saying, look,
You good? You can get better. Spread the word. Straight Up gets better on Best FM. Straight Up Jerry Small, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. I'm your host, Robin Jerry Small. The numbers are 279-8473, 279-8473, and 619-1508, 619-1508. Also streaming live on the internet. Best FM, Straight Up, Robin Jerry Small.
If you're to feel it, you've got to be clean. You've got to make it straight, can't believe. To share the joys togetherness can bring. To the true soul, you just have to cling. And then you will feel the soul inside.
It really needs to be realigned, you know, right? Where this is with marrying now, sexual promiscuity and what should I say now? Well, this man-to-man.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them.
Close a long day on a Tuesday afternoon with a great company. While you're heading home, stuck in traffic, or on your way to work. Yes! When life throws you Tuesday, turn up and let it be a Tuesday. And choose On the Air with Tashika Lu, your one-stop, entertaining, inspiring late afternoon show with friendly conversations, song requests, positive affirmation, learn something to improve your health, and submission box when you, my listeners, share your relationship problems.
Hold on. What you just said? You're engaged this man for 5 years and I know him can't marry you? Is that prank? No, I don't need that.
Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is heard everywhere.
When you said that he married his daughter.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Back to the morning connection. So, I described it as the egocentric language of the pastor who says, I married the girl. No, me did marry them, is how pastors refer to performing the ceremony of marriage.
I officiated at the wedding. So what I was saying, just to correct that people understand,
Desmond
Bishop
Tutu
officiated the wedding or the civil
the marriage ceremony of his daughter to
with
another woman
in the Netherlands, right?
Because and pastors don't all speak like that, but it is commonplace for Jamaicans to be very egocentric in their pronouncements and say, I did do it, man, I did marry them. Good morning and welcome to the morning connection.
I understand, like, I did marry them.
Yes.
Like the push them.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Africa Love.
Africa Love, my brother.
I want to comment this, I guess it was the last caller yesterday.
Yes.
And, I believe she come from over Boa Banks way there.
Oh, Boa Bank. I know a place named Boa Bank.
East.
Oh, we have one in St. Anne. Sorry.
You know what I mean? And when she speak up how the pastors them operate,
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the information that they are sending to the people.
Mm-hmm.
And concerning that, when the items the way for or what can be done,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, to change this. While the other brother, I check he was the first caller, he speak of sabotage in the election in which I support him.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, even a program like, we need to set up a petition.
Mm-hmm.
This oppressive system. You know what I mean? We talking. Yes, I love the talking. You know, because it's me, right?
Yeah,
but we need one year program now. We could get even 1 million people against this oppressive system. Besides what people can do, right? Because the people is so confused. They are confused in religion. They are confused in party politics.
Mm-hmm.
And let us try to set up a petition that it can establish all over the world that we have 1 million people in Jamaica who say right now, go and get rid of them Gaia and get rid of the religion administration. You understand? And
yes.
Put the right prospect. You know, and I believe that will help the people to move forward and strengthen, you know, what is going. So, I'm not going to wait more because I made that word from before the BBC News.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. Sorry. And we appreciate that.
And, you know, me just want the eye them look on what I say. That don't bother wait on the people, but we set up a petition that this petition can send to them. That there's 1 million people who are saying, we don't want them again.
Okay.
Time for change.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna think on the petition approach. I know that there is space in our politics, how we arrange things for a petition. I'm gonna think on it, and you and I will be speaking anyway. So.
All right.
Yes, my sister, and have all the best to the coming 22. You know.
You're not passed
through. The same to you, my brother.
You're not passed through.
Up at the studio.
Yes, on Thursday.
Yeah, man, I'm on a pass through, man, because the brethren can't do the studio. I'm a brethren too, you know.
Okay, excellent.
All right, then, right.
I'm on a pass through, man. That is Thursday, next
Thursday. No, Thursday
this Thursday this week.
Yeah, then Thursday coming?
Well, when you said next, I want to be sure.
It's not next week you're talking about, but this Thursday.
Man, pass through, man, because more of a city item personally.
Yes, I look forward to that.
All right, then.
All right, thank you.
Good.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. All right. To complete what you were saying, Pastor, may I please share this from Olatunde? Online, he has said a car drove past his house this morning at 5:35 a.m. with music blasting at decibels so high without regard for who may be sick, sleeping, etc. The indiscipline is really a major problem. So,
it's
echoing,
true.
Some of what has happened.
What Bailey shared, yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hi, good morning, Mrs. Lawrence and Pastor First.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yes, the commentary on Desmond Tutu marrying his daughter to another woman.
Yes.
Led me to focus locally on a few artists, mainly females and a male, who came out recently in Jamaica saying that they are actually gays or bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, one of them is Leela Ike, and she has been receiving some person has been sympathetic, given the circumstances in which she said she was abused, which led her to looking towards the opposite sex.
Reject.
Yes, and the males who surround her in terms of the new revive, or roots reggae as they call it, revival, has been being criticized as well. Namely Protege and Chronics. It's not surprising to me, studying and seeing the culture and the young persons, especially those who follow the music, that most of them under 30, especially female, they have been in bed with the opposite sex, even one. And so this might be maybe a new phenomenon. A girl song, so they have two females in bed. No longer they can sing about just one love interest. That's to be two females. If they're singing about one, she have to bring a friend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way the culture leading to now.
So you know the saying, art imitates life.
Yes.
And you will see it's a mirror. It's a reflection of what's happening in the society.
Yes.
And it's not new, because there's nothing new under the sun, first thing.
Someone says, yeah, that's correct.
But and same-sex relations are as old as time. But what is happening is the more what is a phrase, cross-culturalization. Yeah. The more we borrow from neighboring media content and openness in other societies, then things become more open. In Jamaica, there are still parts of Jamaica where it is, hush up and people hardly know about it. In the city areas, there's just a lot more openness. What do you think about it? Because once something is happening, there's no kind of trying to ignore it, or I think. What do you think about it? I mean, I try to prepare my children to understand and to figure out how to deal with it.
I believe it's an agenda.
It is a?
It's an agenda.
Okay, all right.
Because what happened is, if I should study about 5 to 6 artists who came out since this year and saying that they support same-sex, these artists are actually signed to international labels.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a political, some of it is political in the sense of wanting to capitalize on the marketability that comes with being more permissive and tolerant of certain things. Jamaica is known to be homophobic, so I guess...
maybe that is just a promise, because sometimes they are being tricked by the labels.
Yeah.
Because a perfect example, Dalton Harris won the big international X Factor show over there in England.
Yes.
He came out saying that he is gay, and from he came out, the entire Jamaica know Dalton Harris from he won Rising Star when he was 16.
Yes.
And we all know that he's an excellent singer.
Yes.
And from he came out 4 years ago that he's gay. The world know nothing about his singing talent again. The only thing they know about now is that he's gay.
But I certainly hope he's doing well as a singer. It would be a terrible thing.
No, he's not doing well as a singer, because if you are doing well as a singer, it will be known.
Yeah.
It's like whoever signed him or whoever managed him push the gay agenda just to influence the Jamaican culture and then sideline its talent.
Right. Well, I will end this call by saying the devil is a liar. There's nothing he promises that turns out to be true. Not a single thing.
I'm going now because I know what I call away.
Yes,
I give you 3 more examples. Leela Ike also signed to international label because all the stablemate of Protege signed to RCA, which is affiliate of Columbia Record. Jada Kingdom also came and said she have a female encounter. She's also signed to international label. Shensia recently came and said she support gay and lesbian, also of international label. Recently, Spice accept a gay show in Canada. She's also gone in international and again she got a Grammy nomination for all of that as well. So it's an agenda to break out the Jamaican society, not just the female, the males too, because it's the females who run society. As long as the female accepts something, the male have no choice but to accept it as well. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too, my brother. And thank you for that power handshake right there.
Wow.
All right, we do have another call, so we can't spend too much time. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Bless the name of Jesus. Bless his holy name.
Amen. How are you, my brother?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Minute. Good morning, Pastor Percy.
Yes, morning.
Our God is an intentional God.
Yes.
That is what they say we are homophobic. But we know take a man and a woman to raise family. We don't condemn no man's movements. We will tell men and women to repent, turn, and change. And we use the word of God. In that Genesis chapter 19, the two men then come to that one and two men. The lads they have two daughters. They never touch it. Virgin and virtuous are two different women. One pick, one don't pick. And the man then consistent. In a Romans 1:26, God give them over. Them left the natural use of a woman and turn to man. God give them over to them one reprobate mind. In a Genesis chapter, when God spoke to and said, never destroy them people here. And the man of God bawled and said, God, no. And he said, if you find 50, let's see the city. And he got straight down, he couldn't find 50. Lot, wife, and him two daughters. Lot wife look back and she turned in a pillar side. We stand for righteousness and holiness. And I love the way the virgin talk. A while ago, I'm sure when you say you give me a handshake. I commend you for your commitment, your dedication, your hard work. To move the way forward, you have to pray the process through and act and do what we have to do and take a stand without fear nor favor. We must stand resolute in our militant mode. And we must stand for righteousness and holiness. Our God is an intentional
Thank you
God.
very much. It's like you were in the studio for the in-between conversation as we spoke through those very things. Thank you. Another caller, so I can't celebrate with you too much. Yes.
Did you remember that guy that won that book prize in England?
Book prize?
Yes, he won a book. He wrote a book about Jamaica and whatever.
Yes.
Dreadlock.
It's not Colin Channel. What's his name? A Jamaican guy.
Yes. I believe they deliberately made him win. That's where it started.
You're carrying on the
agenda.
The agenda.
Yes,
we can't disagree with that point at all. We've seen it all over. There's a deliberate effort to kind of break certain attitudes and norms in Jamaica, and there's no denying it. There's no denying it.
We was the only country our DJ and singer was hitting out against these people. So they said we were the worst in the world. So they had to do something to even when I saw TVJ carrying show with gay.
Listen, man, it's very hard to find a show without it.
Gay character.
Let me tell you, even cartoons. Well, I have every part of the artistic and cultural landscape is pushing the same narrative of openness, fluidity, and tolerance. Now, I do draw the line at any kind of punitive or violent treatment of persons
And
because of their. I draw the line at it, and I think we were really bad behaving when we were trying to stone and beat people because of their private choices. We're living with the fruit of that kind of overindulgence now, because it spun things off in a completely different direction. But what do you say? I mean, I hope that you join me in objecting to any kind of violence or discrimination against persons because of their choices.
I will not beat them. I will not kill them. But I will not support them.
When you say that do not support them, do you mean you wouldn't employ them or you wouldn't buy goods from them? Is what you mean by support?
I will not I am against that. I am against that. I'm an old timer. I'm against that strictly. But we don't beat them in some country, In some country they push them off, they kill them. There are countries that we're kind of.
Yes, there are countries where it is a criminal offense punishable by certain right. So we're not as far gone. But I'm asking, when you say you don't support them, do you mean you wouldn't employ a person if you knew that they were homosexual, or you wouldn't let them cut your hair, or you wouldn't buy food from them, or, that's what I'm asking when you say you don't support. Or are you talking about moral support, where you are encouraging and condoning and performing weddings or attending weddings or anything that is, dedicated to the celebration of that behavior?
I personally will not eat from one of them if I know that he's that.
He or she.
And I would not employ one of them. I will not. Can't change thinking.
Okay. But, all right. That's your personal decision and choice.
That's my personal.
Okay, but
what I call about this morning too.
Yes.
I think if we get rid of the Queen, which we should, it should have happened from 1961. 62 should
yes,
say.
when she get rid of us, we should have said, all right.
And I think we should get rid of the Roman Catholic Church.
The who?
The Roman Catholic Church.
Catholic Church. What do you think about that?
But how would we get rid of it? How would you do that?
Yes.
Well, if we can Queen, then we can.
No, man, the Queen is different. The Queen is different because she holds an official capacity in our arrangements. The Roman Catholic Church does not.
Faith, yeah.
When we the church,
Roman Catholic Church is the head for all Christianity. Teaching that we get, they gave it to us.
No.
That might be so in some ways, but they're not the church of the state. The church of the state would be the church of the head of the state, the Queen, and hers is Anglican.
Yeah, but the Roman Catholic and the Queen Church were one. They break away.
Yes, they broke away.
That.
How would you do it?
Yeah.
How you think it could be done? Because maybe what we're discussing something that is not worthy of debate.
Get rid of the Roman Catholic Church out of Jamaica. Get rid of that.
What
Get
you
rid of
mean?
all of the churches, that's what you're saying?
But how could we close one church and not close another?
No, but all right. According to the census, let me tell you, according to the latest statistics, those who adhere to the Roman Catholic Church is not much, The largest one is the SDA. Then you have the evangelical community, and the Roman is way down the bottom. So that's why I'm saying you want to propose that to get rid of all of the church then. That's what you're saying?
No, just the Roman
Catholic
All right,
Church.
so you have a personal thing against it. We accept that, but we can't be like that.
They are the main people pushing this big agenda.
No, man.
Not them.
No, sir.
The Anglican Church is more open than they are.
Yeah.
I know that. But the Roman Catholic, they started it.
No.
No, the ones that we are honoring come out of the Bible. All right, my brother, we have to take our break now. And we have a call on hold. It's 8:32. I would love to continue this conversation with you. I hope you call back.
All right.
Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bass FM. Keep listening.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats. Best FM.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. First caller on the line. Good morning. Welcome to our show.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning,
sir.
sir.
I hope you're both are the one for Christmas.
As best as can be.
With family and
I am
team.
happy.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know if you had the chance to see the picture of the two leaders, the leader of the opposition and the prime minister, with their family. You had a chance to see that picture?
During the holidays or it's in today's paper?
They were giving the Christmas message and they were, with their families. Did you get a chance to see that picture?
No, I did not.
It was on news. It was on.
No, I saw it on social media.
Oh, no. Man, you're more intrepid than I am.
With the prime minister in his pump and,
Pageantry.
in his suit and his two children in their suit and his wife sitting down in his palace.
Oh, they were in their Christmas pajamas.
No, man, it's suit, man. It's pajamas. Jacket and tie, man.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it. I'm looking for it right now.
And the leader of the opposition casually dressed in his, sitting in his living room with his wife and children. The looks of the prime minister. You see what is happening in this country? We need some experts, because I just spare a little bit.
Yes.
I saw when the president of the United States, former president, was giving a State of the Nation speech. And this lady Nancy Pelosi.
Tear up the speech.
No, man, when she was clapping, man.
Okay.
Did you see the clap? Did you see how she was clapping? The type of how she was, her body language.
Okay.
And there was an expert who broke down her body language,
Okay. Yes, you have people who do that. I remember. Yeah.
Also, he's saying we need some in Jamaica.
We need some of those people in Jamaica, man. Because when I look at the Prime Minister, I saw a man looking like a command for rooster over his head.
But you are a very good
reader of body language, yes.
He was preening. What they say, peacocking.
Yeah, man, that's what I saw. And I saw a man in Mark Goldie, a humble man who was born in wealth.
Yeah.
And is still wealth, just locked in his family,
Yeah, yes.
That's what I saw,
Interesting.
And it disturbed me a lot because the two leaders in this country that has made the greatest difference in the lives of people, in my opinion, was Norman Manley and Michael Manley. And then they don't look like me.
Mm-hmm.
So when we elect people that are looking like us, and that's the type of profile that they to me, it bothers me a lot.
I see it here.
I see the picture.
I see the
yes,
picture.
man. I like it. It's a real thing, In all of his white is in red, and his two sons are sitting. Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, man. It bothers me a lot, because we take these people from out of the almost very near to the kiln field and live in a boardhouse and all that type
I'm
of
looking at it on news.
And they get elevated to high office.
Yeah.
And instead of doing the work to pull people that look like them out of the same boardhouse. Instead of get people come talk about must be more deserving
we're entering into a process, into a time when we're gotta be thinking deeply and understanding things in a different level. All right, my brother, thank you so much. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
I mean, I can't just talk about something else, but I just touch on this briefly that, I wish we were more discerning when it comes to the politics in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, I'm one who don't like America, period. But I can appreciate their maturity in some sense when it comes to the politics. And I don't think Jamaica. I think we're more partisan in everything, how we think and act, and sometimes, you can just feel a kind of, I don't like Michael Manley because XYZ, or I don't like Angela because something. Sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's just family tradition of following a party. Now, from my viewpoint, sometimes I'm 45 years old. I can't say how somebody who follow the politics would honestly tell me that there is a difference. Or there was a time, there was a remarkable difference in the life of any Jamaican Jew.
I think you are right. And I'm going to borrow from Desmond Tutu a sentiment. If it us are not doing well, and it is and that's something that I'm hoping we'll take into. This is something that we are striving. We're taking it personally, but we're pushing it into the new year to understand that if you can't feel and associate yourself with your brother's suffering, then your glory, your advancement is meaningless.
How are you going to be left with your friend sister minute and put a camera on top of light post? When the dam bust? How high?
Yeah.
Because these things, it kind of anger me, honestly.
Yeah, you see, we got to turn now that feeling that it arouses in you, we have to turn it into some activism and some work to change it, because it really requires all of us getting to that place. It really does.
Did you know that in Dubai?
Yes.
In the United Emirates, in 1990, I'm not talking about 1919, I'm talking about 1990. There was only one single skyscraper in Dubai.
Yeah, we know that.
1990.
Right.
I've seen the sheikh in an interview on BBC. They asked him, "Why are you so aggressive?" He said, "Why should I leave what I can do for somebody else?
For someone else to do.
I don't trust me. I can do it. I will do it."
Yep.
So the service that we go around with from day to day, what I follow in the politics of Jamaica, pre-independence to independence to the mid-era,
no different,
to the 70s, is a set of people who always be reading the climate of the day and just hit the political straw. Now, okay, because I come read and understand that even the great 70s era that we talk about, this was no more than the climate was blowing from the north upon America from the 60s, 65, the civil rights movement coming up. And white, like things white wasn't being popular. And we have a brutal, I'm a Rasta man, we have a brutal labor rights government who banned Walter Rodney and all these things and no black book. And guess what the other side do? Just read into these things, man, easy. Like, okay, well, whiteness is popular enough. That could bring out some black argument. That could marry a black woman.
Yes, it becomes a strategy.
Make we get rad.
Yeah,
with Jomo Kenny attack you it.
Yeah.
And say, still have to give it to these people. People buy into these rhetoric. You think, well, I'm not one to say nobody has done anything good.
Okay.
I'm saying it is minuscule.
In terms of what they could have done. And I'm in agreement with you now.
And I tell you, I am not one to celebrate a man for doing his job. Like Christ, I say he's an unprofitable servant.
Yeah.
Because he only do what you ask him to do. So
people talk about MP give me road, boy,
that's what I'm supposed to do.
No. And the other day, somebody was celebrating because water was in the pipe.
You're going to tell me about MP give me road.
Yeah.
MP don't give me no road.
I think you've got it. I agree with your approach to it, my brother, and I thank you for sharing that with us.
One tiny little point.
Yes, go ahead.
As brief as possible. Like, you know what? You're talking about the agenda, and I salute those because the sentiments that I heard before is the things that I'm watching and the agenda. And this point where people want to, I don't know if you can disagree with somebody and in anything at all and be honestly 100% like, you know, I disagree with you, but I love. Because I would have to argue, even though somebody may say it's different. So if I disagree with a child molester or a pedophile RP. Where am I draw the line?
Well, that is the renewed mind of Christ that allow you to hate the behavior and the actions, but love the person.
individual.
I gotta run, my brother. I have another caller.
No
who
problem. Thanks.
needs
Appreciate it.
attention. But
Appreciate
thank
it.
you
Have a
so
great-
much. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Sorry to call early, but
Welcome back.
It's all right. You can speak, man. That's all right.
This caller, man, I have to make the call up, man.
Tell me now, what drew you out?
Listen,
Yes.
we want to say we never make the progress in the 70s.
No,
he never said
he
that.
wasn't saying that.
No,
He wasn't
man.
saying that.
He said we have made progress, but the progress that we could have made is minuscule when you compare to what was available, the potential that we
No,
had.
yeah, but we have to put all those things in the context why we didn't make the progress that we made. Because housing for example, right?
No, he was not taking away from the gains, my brother. And ride with me on this one. He agreed with me that if it has failed for one, it has failed for all. And what by that sentiment, what we're saying is that we are constantly under a driving pressure to make it work for all of us.
Yes, but I didn't get that.
That's it. Yeah, no, man, he agreed with me.
No,
He agreed. He agreed.
with us.
I know. I
What-
understood what he was saying.
What I took from his argument is that no progress was made.
No,
No,
in
never
fact, he,
Yeah, man, that's
in
what I get
fact,
from his argument.
okay, maybe you missed a part of it because he made a point of saying he is not saying that that nothing good was done. And he's not taking away from the good that was done. And then I used the unprofitable servant metaphor to pull what he was saying out of him, because when a man does what he's supposed to do, he's an unprofitable servant, meaning you have made no profit off him. He merely did what he was being paid to do.
Yeah, but you have a lot of people that have to give it job and they don't do what they're supposed to do.
That is true, and that is
We agree.
and that one.
You have to give praise to who.
Yeah,
And we agreed, But,
And
but
he
my
acknowledged
thing
it.
is, but
Let me take the other call because
but I agree
my
with you.
brethren
And
here.
we take your point, but simple for me, as a child of the 70s, and all of what happened, and I was able to access me and Minute and so on. There's so much more that could have been done if there was a clearly stated vision of where we're going and the consensus instead of the pulling this, pulling that, and to the end we have.
Well,
not
I think
moved.
the people who were on spot did the best that they could.
You're
I
right.
agree with that, but we have to think about the sabotage and all them things.
That's why I say they did the best that they could. Because they were fighting some odds and they had some perspectives that they could not escape.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, my brother. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, Pastor Percy.
Good morning. Do you celebrate Christmas?
No.
So I hope you had a merry one.
We don't celebrate anything concerning idol and idolatry. We celebrate the feast of dedication.
Dedication, okay.
Yeah, and also the Feast of Tabernacle. At this time, we celebrate the Feast of Dedication, the defeat of the
Maccabee,
the army, and the rededication of the temple by our brother Judas Maccabeus at this time. And Christ also went into the temple, and which was winter, as according to the book of John 10:22. So he himself celebrate that victory.
So you just did your 8 days of candle lighting.
Pastor Percy, I'm disappointed in you and with you.
He looks very mournful and regretful.
Her belief, like for instance, it says, okay, God appreciates a sexual relationship between a man and a woman if it be done right. And she didn't mention marriage. She said it's okay and you don't have to marry. Well, she said marry. She said you don't have to, as long as it is right. So I reconsider the commandment, and I remember in Exodus 20, and is it verse 13? Remember the verse, Pastor?
You want to read it for the people?
No, sir, you have to continue and speak and make your point because we have a call on hold, and we are generally very wary of how you express yourself and have very little patience for when you come and try to lecture us. So make your point. The lady said marriage. She said if they don't have to marry, and you think what?
I don't think we don't have our own interpretation because God knows all things and He created all men, particularly the children of Israel, to obey His laws, statutes, and man going to man and woman to woman. Sorry to speak so frank, but as it is. There was a conversation in regards to some ladies in the music industry
In the
and
music,
also
yes,
men
yes.
that are agreeing with same-sex marriage.
But
All of that is a joke.
the caller was making the point that he thinks that some of these outside influences are trying to drive Jamaica's tolerance for a more permissive lifestyle into the Western direction, if I could put it that way.
Okay, all right, Pastor Percy.
I'm listening, my brother. I'm listening.
I'm coming off the line now, but I wanted to read this scripture for your audience. That finally, my final word. I'm turning those artists that join with foreign, companies and contract. It's found in the book of For the Love of Money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Is it Hebrew or Timothy?
You mean second Timothy passage?
Timothy.
Yeah, in the last days.
Yeah. It's first Timothy 6 and verse 10 and 12. Just read that for the audience. And I appreciate you tolerating me.
All right. All right, my brother.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, Mr. Branch.
I'm Pastor P.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. I would like the world to understand that the judgment is coming,
Okay.
God will be sending his messenger. You can find it in Isaiah 42, Malachi 3.
Remember, you had given us all those scriptures from before, so you gotta do a little something more for me now.
No, I never give you the scripture yet. I tell you about the messenger.
Oh, you're not telling me about. It's not about the branch.
Branch and messenger is two.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were
the
repeating.
messenger of God will be working with the branch.
Okay.
You can find it in Isaiah 42.
What is the role of the messenger?
The messenger is to prepare the way of the people, which will be the spirit of truth.
So this will be like
John
the Baptist?
I tell you where to find it, and you will understand what is his role.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my brother. I have another caller on the line.
I don't finish tell you reality, You have it in Malachi 3. Matthew 11, verse 10.
Okay.
Luke 7, 27. And in St. John's 14.
All right. Thanks very much. You got those, Pastor? All right. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to shed a word with our people and the world in general.
Uh-huh.
The world has not known that all the religions of the world that worship outside of the 7-day Sabbath are Catholics, and they do not know. Okay. But the time is coming and it's fast approaching when everyone that worships outside of the Sabbath will know that they are Catholics. Because you know what? The head of the Catholic endorses and acknowledges the Sunday worship that day belongs to him, because it is the Catholics who first introduced Sunday worship to the world. But the time is fast approaching because all all the what else to be said are set up, but people do not know, and people refuse from listening. And there's a war that is over the earth. There's a war that is over Jamaica. There's a war that is over black people, and they do not know that the time is really at hand, and the time is now to wake up and realize that the Catholic owns you if you go to church on a Sunday. God bless you. Peace be unto you. Hear my voice. The voice of God is speaking to people. Good morning.
Okay.
Morning, Minute, morning, Pastor.
Morning, how are you?
Not bad. I can just run through more three things briefly.
Okay.
Homosexual, and it's something I don't really entertain, but if we are a Christian nation, how is it that we are entertaining these stuff? So in other words then, and we are a bit of, well, we are hypocrites. We ban the Jamaican song in terms of morals, speaking certain words, what I'm called bad words, gun and bad words, etc. But yet still, on both TV stations, they are actually putting this thing in our face, homosexual act in the movie. Why is it that these TVJ and CBN don't ban these movies?
Okay. There's a censorship. I think there's a board that looks at movies before they are aired, and there are certain standards. I don't know if it is still operational. But
It's still operational. Sexually explicit material, whether it is heterosexual or homosexual.
Right.
Although that is censored and not on any free-to-air TV. Even on cable, the law regulation is that it can only be shown in certain hours, at certain hours, and you need to have some kind of key to permit adults only to consume that kind of material. But like a kiss between two men is not sexually explicit, nor is a kiss between two women sexually explicit, however lingering the kiss might be. Although I can't recall seeing, well, I draw the line there because I don't watch enough TV to know how they're treating with it now. I don't think that the TV, the stations, the free-to-air stations are in breach of the law as it relates to sexually explicit content.
I don't know point to it, but I can just comment one thing on Miss Mary Lynch. I don't want Mary Lynch to get the impression that there's a war between rich people and poor people. You know. We need to show that everybody is important, and whatever happened to the people in the Rema, Jungle, and Tibble, you never ever hear somebody from Beverly's and Cherry Garden and now demonstrate and say no. So obviously them just don't care. But I don't want tell me one politician that
I don't think it is that they don't care. You have to remember that people express their protest in different ways. Not everybody going to take to the streets on certain issues. There are some things that you respond to differently. I just say that. Yes.
One or two, they don't care. Let me tell you that. They don't care. All right? Because, poor people can't bring shipment of gun in Jamaica. So, I'm bringing out drugs or ganja. They just don't care. All right. Why is when the killing going on in Jamaica, we're gone 1,000 odd. Is there's that door in Beverly, Cherry Garden, and Narbo kick off. Look for the door when them kick off in there. Yeah. Look for the squad of the people them living there.
Well, some people are shot through the wall of their house or through the wooden board.
But you see that comment that you're making, as I says, really don't want to get in a situation where it's us versus them, because all of us, I believe, are in this thing together. But I remember there were protests when there was a major move against the whole thing of the Buggery law, and the spectrum of persons who came out in that march was uptown, downtown, Rastaman, everybody against it. And I do believe you need to get that same kind of protest in terms of what is happening, in terms of the crime and violence and what is happening to people. So I agree with you that a lot of our people do not understand the plight. Because remember, when we had the incursions in Tivoli, yeah, and people went on fact-finding missions. Some people were appalled and stunned by the squalor that people lived in. And I'm saying, but they don't live in Jamaica. That is when the people who would have been the power brokers, the people who have wealth, when they saw them, it just shocked them because they never understood what was really happening to people. Go on to your next point, my brother, because we're coming up onto the break.
Thank you. We are one Jamaican, one good for the goose, good for the gang. All right, my next point is, tell me one politician, one politician, whether prime minister or opposition, whether them son and daughter live in squalor. In other words, then, Pastor, why is it that, tell me one politician, whether them son and daughter out of the street and live in a deprived situation if these guys didn't go overseas. In other words, these politicians go in power and better themselves and them people. But you see, they can't do that for the average or most of the Jamaican people.
Yeah, man. And I hear the point. So that's what we're saying. We need to become fully aware so we can move together up and down, uptown, downtown, working together to lift up the general plight of our people. And I agree with you. So
thank you, sir.
Thank you,
man.
man.
As I said, tell me a hero where a man want to live Narbrook and Cherokee and I live in Remand because it's a better life. No, we were just, from 1962, we just had this era in the Price Station and Pernell Charles, TJ Patterson, Goose School, and none of them, but Stuart, Chin, none of them do nothing for the Jamaican people, nothing. Have a good day.
All right, my brother. Take care. All right, let's take the break now. We are like 4 minutes past it, so please forgive us. Stay with us, though. We'll be right back. This is the Morning Connection.
We'll be right back.
Easy! Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer to truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith that God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
Praise him, praise him, praise him, praise him, praise him. And the no name of Jah, if it time me up. And the no name of Jah, if it mix me up. So them evil, so them lie, so them corrupt. Scheming and them planning, but we not give up. Jehovah and the one way ya hold me up. In the Father we put trust and Jaja. Jaja they done with the name done. Jaja super cat him come and then them do it and dada. They done shit there. Done mama, wicked and evil. Jah confess slaughter. Cool way in the way and the whole scripture. And live and faith and night and the holy water. No need not a Glock. Light on chopper. It's 66 for the lap and when they bring over. They will seek in the missile. I am Jaja in bone to demon in a corner. He don't face and not just say attempt to fight back.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station. Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Best 100.5 FM brings you youth empowerment and resilience, a 30-minute program with Royton McLaren every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Your Monday nights will not be the same again. Managing stress, trauma? Let's talk on youth empowerment and resilience with Royton McLaren on Best 100.5 FM every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m.
When you hear them come out to it, look how long it takes.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best
Welcome back and good morning to the caller on the line. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Miss Minute.
Morning, sir.
Thank you for waiting.
I'm here listening to the program every morning. And you tell me, so every day everybody come and attack and no solution. It gets boring, you know. Everybody just attack and ask question. And them already know the answer already.
Okay. You have any answers to the questions that they're asking, my brother?
And that's how the crime starts.
The first place of learning is in the home. What do you suggest that we do, my brother?
As I said before, people like you, pastor, have to be a role model. Have to go into the community, attack the damaged home, like you, pastor. And every day you can come here and talk about God busy. God is right in amongst right. Me and
I
right
do that, you know. I do that. So what I hear calling for is for a national movement of persons like myself who go into communities, homes, and so on. Because I mentor, you know, and I work with families every day. When I leave here,
it needs a lot more.
Right, so I agree with you. So how do we know? So the question is, how do we mobilize people to understand that the real solution begins not at the top but at the bottom in terms of how we empower people?
You know how I see it? You ever hear about the word a dog a chasing tail?
Yes.
That Jamaican people are right now. Them are chasing tail. And at the day, just come right back, round back to the same thing.
Okay.
And every day we talk the same thing. We need solution. We need somebody to come and at the time I like Jerry program. You know? Jerry program. If you not come with no solution, you run your fine program. You know?
Okay.
We need people with solution. Every day I come and talk about PMP, the Prime Minister. We don't know. So the Prime Minister already I lose the ball.
Okay.
You know.
All right. So your solution is what now? So your solution is it with family. So we must roll out a program to empower parents.
And I've been saying this thing from a long time. So when people not dying anymore, you know, when people dying together, it build a bond, it build a camaraderie with the family. Family is the most important thing.
Okay.
But you do know, my brother, that the opportunity for persons to say, even if it's the same thing that others are saying, it is an important part of building consensus. And just the same way it sort of, you say it get boring now to hear the same thing all the time, it will push persons to get up and do something. And that's what Pastor is talking about, mobilizing now to do. But there always has to be that place where persons can speak and hear that their concerns are the same as the next man. We got to build consensus. That's an important part of it. It is frustrating for me too, somewhat, to hear the same things every day and even to echo the frustration of some of the callers. But I know that that's the job I signed up for, to be a part of the voice that carries and opens up a platform for these things to be said. So bear with us, my brother. It is, I hope, out of all the things you hear repeatedly, you are seeing that you're not alone in the concerns that you share. And when you start something in your community and it is working well, this is a place where you can share it and inspire someone to do the same. I got to take another call now, so thank you very much for sharing with us. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. There's something that I'd like to share with you, and I hope that if you find it good, you will repeat it as much as possible on your program.
I promise.
Now, one of the things that came out yesterday, I believe, or the day before, in a news report that I saw, that the Ministry of Health, there's a Ministry of Health official who reported that their records are showing, using the different so-called vaccines, that there are serious side effects to Jamaicans amounting to over almost 800 people who have reported these side effects, including blood clotting and other stuff.
And mostly young people.
Mostly young people. Well, I'm glad you saw that.
I saw it.
And I'm glad that they are reporting it. The other thing is that it is, I wish they would continue bringing out the point that the nurses and the medical people who are handling these cases some of them are actually telling people not to take the vaccine because they who are the most aware of what the vaccines do are not taking it themselves. And it's a very important point for Jamaicans to watch and see that these people who they are saying are informed are not taking it themselves.
Well,
the other. Sorry.
Finish your point. Finish your point. I'll wait.
Okay. The next point that I want to bring forward is the two lawyers or the people or anybody else in Jamaica wants to bring an action in the court against such mandates must look at the fact and what they must bring forward, because you see what the court has ruled that is not a
Hello?
If the general consensus of all the world is that the vaccines, the so-called vaccines as I call them, do not bring immunity and does not prevent somebody from getting the COVID, what basis is it that the employers are bringing to say that